It's time. I'm scared. Okay, I need this.
Why not? Suffer for 7 hours. Oh! Whoa!
I don't know how I'm feeling about the swim now. It's wind gust of 41.
Oh, so today's way windier than tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yay! We just checked in, got all our gear.
I'm feeling nervous.
Em is freaking out.
Did you see the lake?
Yeah, it's very windy today, so it makes the lake look super choppy. So hopefully it's not like that tomorrow. So we're just back home now from the athletes village. We have all our checked in, we've gotten all our gear that we need. And so now we just had some lunch and we're going to do a quick spin on the bike just to pump up the tires. We're going to oil and then just make sure there's nothing left that we need to configure and do before we put on the stickers.
And then checking our bicycles.
Yeah, and then we drop off our bikes. So we have to go back to the lake again to drop off our bikes.
Yeah, logistically I wasn't really smart here, but whatever.
It's okay.
At least
We have
the
loads of
whole
time.
day.
Yeah, we have loads of time. So yeah, I'm so full now after eating.
No.
We're
Carb loading. We got chips. We have an almond croissant. Can we show it? And
what's
then
left of an
we
almond
had
croissant.
2 sandwiches, although you ate most of it.
Yeah, I
And
definitely
then
did.
our Gatorade.
Yeah, we made a mistake of not bringing snacks earlier, so we were ravenous. And so yeah, I kind of came in here and annihilated that food. And so now I am full. So yeah, so let's go get the bikes sorted. Time to do a shakeout ride. You wanna go there or do you wanna go to the course?
I feel like there's a roundabout. Oh yeah,
Down there.
I guess so.
Okay, let's go. Bike ride, done. How did it feel?
So windy though. Like, my bike was literally like going like this. I felt like I was gonna tip over.
Yeah, so windy, but it was also very hot as well.
Yeah.
These are the stickers that need to go on our bikes. That's it. Just those 2 stickers. Now we're ready to check the bike in. Bike dropped. Let's go get some dinner.
Put on tri-suit. No, 15 minutes before I start the swim.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so
Have that
wetsuit, goggles, check,
wetsuit.
check. Cap, check. Goggles,
Check.
oh,
And
towel.
towel, yeah.
Yeah, so now we're into 1 towel. Are you taking transition fuel?
Yes.
Okay,
I have a 160.
transition fuel. Helmet,
Helmet,
glasses.
glasses,
Do you have your bento box?
yes.
Helmet, bike kit.
Gloves.
Jacket just in case.
Jacket, just in case.
Gloves,
Socks,
socks, and all your nutrition.
shoes, and your nutrition.
Yeah. Taking any nutrition? T2?
Take 100,
Okay. I'm
Joe.
gonna take nutrition, shoes, extra socks just in case,
Yeah, it's in my bag already. Hat,
and then belt.
the race belt, yeah. Everything is done. Now we just need to pack it all into our bag for tomorrow, and then, yeah, sleep. And then we're ready to go. finally.
This was my 4:30 a.m. sodium intake.
How you feeling?
Bloated AF. Oh my gosh.
So much food.
So much food. Let's hope this big belly of mine helps me float.
On the way to the race. Emma's first race. How exciting.
First race.
Yeah, first Ironman race.
True. First try.
Let's go.
Umbrella. Torrential downpour. Gross. So because there's no media allowed with you during the race, I have no footage of during the race, so all I have is pictures. So let's recap how the race actually went. So my total time was 6 hours, 9 minutes, and 16 seconds. So this is actually the slowest half Ironman that I've ever done. But to be fair, I just came back from doing a marathon. So I didn't really train a whole lot for this race. And the weather also wasn't really on our side. So the swim portion took me 37 minutes, 33 seconds. The bike took me 3 hours, 33 minutes, and 5 seconds. And then the run took me 1 hour, 37 minutes, and 26 seconds. Just overall, fantastic course. Victoria is so beautiful. We love Victoria itself and just Vancouver Island. I just find it so beautiful. And we're actually getting married there next month, or I guess this month in June. And yeah, I'm so excited that we both got to do this race together because of that. So the next time we go back to Victoria will be to get married. So the course, absolutely beautiful, as I mentioned. Obviously it's an Ironman event, so it's very well organized. It's awesome that the transitions are all in the same place. So for every portion of the race, it always loops back to the same area. So it's a great course from a spectator perspective or supporter, because you don't really have to travel much. You can just go to the event and then you can just hang out there until whoever you're supporting finishes. What's great is that you get to then see them at multiple points. So you can see them at the swim, during transition, obviously on the run, and then the bike when they arrive and when they take off. So if we're going to how the race went, obviously you saw that when we woke up, it was torrential rain. There was strong winds, not the most ideal situation. We knew on and off throughout the week that it was going to be cold and start to rain, but we thought it was only going to be 4 millimeters. And hopefully we were hoping that it would be pushed out. So that's why we weren't sure about what to wear. Yeah, when we woke up, it was unfortunately raining, which again for the swim doesn't really matter too much because obviously you're going to get wet. But what ended up happening was temperature of the water was 15.8 degrees Celsius, which meant that it was a mandatory wetsuit swim and you were allowed to wear a wetsuit hat and booties, but neither of us packed those, so we didn't wear them. So we were told during the briefing that the race starts at 6 a.m. sharp. So we had to make sure that we were there on time. And obviously as we were in transition, putting in all our gear, it was still raining. We were putting on our wetsuit, it was still raining. Tried to go to the lake at 5:45 to try and get a warm-up swim in. We couldn't even get to the water because people were already starting to line up. And the entrance chute for the swim is so small that it was already completely full by the time we had gotten there. We took a gel 15 minutes before, so at 5:45 before going to the warm-up area. We couldn't even get close to the water because everyone was already there. We couldn't even get to our seated times. So this particular race is a self-seated time, meaning that there's a signpost for how long you're going to take on the swim. So I think it starts around 30 minutes or sub 30, you're going to be at the front. If you're going to be between 30 to 35, you're in a section. For 40 minutes, you're in this section. And if you're going to take longer than that, there's a section at the back. There was no getting even close to any of the signposts. We ended up just joining a queue. We were actually not even inside the chute. We were standing in the side trying to get to closer to the 30 to 35 minute time slot, but we couldn't even get there because people were everywhere and it was just so full. It didn't end up starting at 6. I don't know if it started for the elites at 6, but we were standing there on rocks and in mud in the rain, in the cold, for nearly 40 minutes. We didn't get into the water until like 6:38. That meant that now the gel that we had taken is already probably been digested. Once we finally got in, and again, they let you in 3 at a time, and then they seed you every 5 seconds or so. So once we got in, because of the fact that the chute or the entrance was so jammed, nobody was in the right seated section. So the first 500 meters was like dodging people doing breaststroke. Like, I don't understand why anyone is needing to do breaststroke if you're waiting to get in so early. Like, if you're doing breaststroke and haven't trained in open water, you really shouldn't have been at the front. That was a little bit of a pet peeve during this race. I then also was dealing with a leaking goggles, and this was happening during training too, which was a little bit annoying. So I should have maybe gotten a new pair. So I had to kept stopping just to like let the water out, and then I had to just like breathe on one side. That was a little annoying. I eventually fixed it around 700 meters and it got better after that. I think once I got to like the 1800 meter mark, I was so comfortable. I was like, I want this to keep going, and I didn't want it to end. But overall, it was just a beautiful swim. The lake was very choppy because I guess from the wind and the rain, but probably a little bit more choppier than I thought it was going to be. And then also because of the wind, there was a bit of a current and there was a lot of zigzagging between people, let's just say. When it came to T1, I ended up spending a lot longer here because I actually wanted to wait for Em to come out of her swim, because the swim was the only portion that she was really nervous about, and I just wanted to make sure that she was okay. So I ended up kind of taking my time here. I knew she wasn't going to be too far after me because she is a very strong swimmer, but I still wanted to just be there with her when she came out. So I did hang out in the T1 area, and then it was great because then we got to start the bike ride together, which was awesome. And so it was fun. You know, anyone knows that if you see a familiar face, you know, either, you know, a fellow athlete or just a support person, you know, that gives you such a boost of energy and feeling. So to all the sport crews who come to all of our races, huge thank you to you guys. Yeah, what you guys do for us athletes who need a little power up, seeing you definitely gives us that energy, so thank you. So the bike itself, this is where we were unsure if we should wear a jacket or not, but I was very much off and on about wearing a jacket on top of my tri-suit for literally up until we got into the water. And it was only within a few moments before we got into the water that one of the announcers there was saying how cold it was and you should layer up on the bike. And so glad now looking back that I did wear it because it was freezing. It was still raining up until I'd say halfway through the bike course, maybe a little bit earlier, and that just made it so cold because obviously the wind as well, and we were already wet from the swim, so we weren't going to dry as quickly as we normally would have on a race like this. So yeah, definitely super happy that I wore the jacket. And I'd say by the time I got to like 70 kilometers, that's when I started to feel comfortable in terms of like temperature. So because of the rain, we were really forced to slow down at every corner just because the roads were slippy. And this course is very technical in terms of there's a lot of corners. So there was a lot of slowing down. So the first half is more flat and little rolling hills. And then the second half of this course is more climbing. And everyone talks about the big climb at 75 kilometers, which I actually felt was okay. It was the part after that, you actually still have more climbing after that, and then it continues to climb until the very end. And so, yeah, I was expecting it to be just that big long climb. Anyway, the last 10K was a lot slower than I thought it was going to be. Because of the way the temperature went, I ended up not needing as much food and sodium as I thought I would have needed. But I still continued to try and follow my plan because I didn't ultimately want to bonk on the run. And ultimately, you're fueling on the bike so that you're fueled for the run anyway. And so I end up eating too much. I think I spent most of the time on the bike needing to go to the bathroom. I ended up skipping the porta potty in aid station 1, but aid station 2, I stopped, and yeah, it was such a relief. When you really need to pee and you're climbing on these hills, it was like the worst feeling ever. But anyway, we got it done. So when I was in T2, I spent way too long here. And the reason why is because I wanted to switch my socks because my feet were frozen, my socks were wet. My right toes at this point were numb and I didn't feel them at all. So it made changing the socks really difficult. So that took so much time. And because I needed to pee, I was changing my socks. I ended up getting like stomach cramp midway when I was trying to put my sock on. And so it just took so long to put socks on. And yeah, so my T2 time was also very slow, but you know, it is what it is. I'm so glad I ended up changing my socks because I ended up not getting feeling back into my toes until like the second loop of the run. So that was definitely a smart move. So the run itself went really well for me. I love trail running. So because this is on a trail, this was just like so enjoyable. I loved like being in the trees and like the scenery was so lovely, like being alongside the lake. There is a climb that does occur at between the 8 and 9 kilometer mark and 17 to 18 kilometer mark. I loved the climb. I know everyone hates it because it's a mostly flat course, except for that one portion. And yeah, I loved it. I just love the dynamics of it. I also love climbing when I'm running for some reason. That's kind of weird to say because the hills on my marathon killed me. But where the hills were was super muddy, which since I was wearing the Super Comp shoes from New Balance, I was really nervous about sliding and slipping. So I did have to slow that down a little bit on the descent, but thankfully I didn't fall or trip. So that's a win. But I did see a lot of people wearing trail running shoes, which in my opinion, because the course was really flat, I don't know if that's the smartest move because they're not as cushioned. You've already been out for so long and you're running. I would have taken the comfort of a road running shoe over a trail running shoe, but again, that's just a personal preference. I also understand that because it was wet, that maybe a trail running shoe would have been fine, but honestly, the course is covered by trees for the most part, so it wasn't really wet besides that one portion which was the hill. But that's it. So I ended up finishing with a 6:09 and I couldn't be more happy than that. To be honest, I did most of my training for the marathon. I didn't really do a whole lot of biking and I did maybe one swim session a week. So yeah, I couldn't be more than happy with how the course went. Obviously, the temperature and the weather was not the greatest, but you know, we still got it done. It's great having a course where you only have to bring one transition bag and just have everything there with you with your bike. That makes it significantly easier from a logistics point of view. I think this is a really good one. I think doing this reignited my love for trail running. So now I'm thinking, do I do another ultra run? Because it's been a while and yeah, I do love the trails. So I don't know, that's the last race that I've signed up for this year. And so I don't have anything else scheduled, but I was thinking of maybe doing a trail run, an ultra run, or maybe a sprint try, just so I can test out going fast and not having to pace myself. I think that would be a really fun thing to do. But yeah, if anyone knows of any good courses or races to do, let me know. But that's it. That's it for this short series of Ironman Victoria. It was a fun one, and yeah, I'll see you in a next video. Until then, bye.